The story from Zambia is very, very funny. It's crazy. I just had to share it with you. In Zambia, a police chief has released prisoners from prison because he was drunk. Now, in Zambia, again, fellas, something very interesting is happening. Zambia has made primary school free of charge. Fellas, in Zimbabwe, the new president wants to remove the penalty. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. This year must be the year you've always been waiting for. No more thinking too long. No more waiting for great opportunities. Create your own opportunities. No more waiting for the right time, for the right people. You will never have that. You need to find an opportunity yourself to create what you don't have. Well, if you're new here, you certainly don't know who I am. My name is Zack. I don't know who you are, but if you watch this video till the end, we are probably going to like each other. Okay, so here we talk about most of the things in the continent, in Africa. We talk about various countries. We talk about Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. We talk about South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Zambia, Namibia. Yeah, even though some people don't like you talking about their country, they get very defensive. Don't talk about my country. But we still talk because there's nothing they can do against us. The goal is to bring Africans together. We also speak about the diaspora, the United States of America, Jamaica, Barbados. We know you all over the world, and you know you love the information. So if you want to know about the continent, you're at the right place. Now, if you're an African, you're curious about what's happening in Namibia, in Zimbabwe, in Malawi, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Congo, you are at the right place. So first of all, click on the button. I think it's called subscribe. So we can make this much bigger. Okay, let's go. We are in Zambia. So what's happening in Zambia? In Zambia, a police chief has released prisoners from prison because he was drunk. So the man was having a good time during the party of New Year's Eve, and he decided to release prisoners. The detective name is Tito Spiri. He has released 13 detainees that were accused of armed robbery, violent robbery, aggressions, and stuff like that. He just went into the prison and said, okay, guys, it's midnight, get out. And the prisoner looked at each other like, is he okay? And they stormed out. So out of 13 prisoners, 12 disappeared immediately. I don't know what the other one was thinking. And the guy says, leave, go, and 12 ran away and one was trying to be a good man, like a nice person. It's just crazy. It reminds me of a story of a young girl that picked up a big bag of money. There was millions in there, right, in an African country. The money was completely gone. It's disappeared. They were looking for the money for a long time. The police couldn't find it. And they sort of, the case just went cold. The little girl found the money. He was with his brother. They took the money to the police. And the police gave them a certificate of honesty. How do you feel about that? Do you feel it's a good thing to do? It's good values? Or, she should have at least checked with the brother, like, hey, she chose not to say to her brother because she felt like the brother would have different ideas. Millions. In the meantime, she still lives in a, most destitute area of the city. And the police did absolutely nothing to make her life better. Not even trying to give them a little portion of the money she found to stay in a much better area or to fix their house that was actually getting, sunk with water. It's just crazy. Now, 13 detainees were asked to leave the prison by this officer. Out of 13, 12 ran away and one stood there because he was trying to be a nice person. Say, I'm a nice prisoner. I'm not running away. I'm Zambian and I believe in God. Since I was stopped, I'm going to stay here forever. Anyway, until the government decides to free me because I've been a good person. Well, that's not going to happen, my brother. Well, on the other hand, you think about it, the cities are aggressive people, robbery, assault, and burglary, running away. The police officer is in trouble, okay? There's a politician that reacted to this incident. He says this is not the first time. Like back in time in Zambia, in 1997, prisoners ran away. Now, what happened at that time, there were prisoners that were stopped and put in jail since 1992. Up until 1997, they'd never been through trial. They just were kept in prison. And just imagine you've been arrested since 1992. 1997, you've never been tried? That is crazy. These are some of the things you see in many African countries. I'm sorry. They could be sending you to jail for something with no evidence. If you have nobody outside to put pressure for you, if you don't have anybody at the higher place to come and ask, why is he being arrested? All that stuff. You're going to stay in jail for doing nothing. And that's sad. So this person says some Zambians were arrested in 1992. And until 1997, they were still in jail for no reason. And also a very similar situation happened. And those people jumped out and they just ran and disappeared. Now that's something negative, right? Or positive, I don't know. Now in Zambia again, fellas, something very interesting is happening. Zambia has made primary school free of charge. Congratulations, Zambia. That's good. It's very good to see. Zambia has made primary school, I'm not sure about secondary school, we can double check that, free of charge, so people can go to school for free. And that is very nice to see. So Zambians have free school. Congratulations. Now, unfortunately, after Zambia made it free, many children went back to school. About 1 million children went back to school. That's amazing. But now they have a problem because classes are overcrowded. In classes where you are supposed to have 30 children studying, they have about 80 to 100 kids studying. And that, as you can imagine, is not a win. Okay, it's not very nice. So the Zambian government is trying very hard to find solution on how to handle that situation. The idea was good. They don't have the finances to upgrade the classes. When you do something great, you must always plan ahead because, the future is going to change. I mean, like some of the cities in some countries in Africa, you don't name those cities or else the people are going to insult you. In some of those cities, the electricity infrastructure was built for a certain amount of people, let's say 1 million people, okay? Now, when the government had planned the infrastructure for that city, they had created a bank account where they kept money in case there are more people living in the city. Now, what happened was when the new government came into power, they took that account where the previous government kept money thinking about the future. They spent all the money on buying cars, buying houses, and marrying 3, 4, 5 wives. And in 2024, they had issues because the population of the city is no more 1 million. It's now 10 million people. But the electricity infrastructure is still the same that was created for 1 million people. And the money that was put to the side for the future has been used. Now they don't know what to do. The idea was great from the Zambian government to make things easy for the people. I think many families are very happy that they don't have to pay money in primary school and secondary. I think there are a few countries in Africa where actually people don't go pay money for primary and secondary school. And Africa is rich enough, to get things going and to get kids to get some of the best education possible because of the resources the countries have. But the problem is government loot. They steal. They take the money. They allocate to their family members. They hire people that are incompetent because they are family members and people from their tribes. And that is very sad. And that is probably one of the reasons why Zambia is struggling because the planning was not done well. However, the government has promised to try its best to find solution to this. Now we go to Zimbabwe. Fellas, in Zimbabwe, the new president wants to remove the penalty. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Zimbabwe has a law. If you do something really, really wrong, you get the penalty. Like if you unalive somebody, you get the penalty. And many people will believe that actually works really well because some of the reason why some of the African countries are really bad in terms of violence and crimes and stuff like that is because people don't have the penalty. Look, I saw many years ago in the Eastern African country. In that country, there used to be a lot of cases of men forcing themselves in other women, you know what I mean, at night. So somebody can just jump into your house, unalive you and do that to your wife, then unalive her. It's happened quite a lot. People were living in fear. What had happened was, once the president came into power, he arrested people who were unaliving people like that. They didn't go to jail like they used to go before. He took them to a stadium. They aligned them like this, and they called the population to come and see. Then they unalived all of them. What happened was, immediately that fear, people stealing things from people unaliving other people, ended immediately. So it worked. As much as the penalty sounds really bad, it is very effective. I mean, it is very effective. People are scared of things happening to them. Violent people are only scared of violence. If you say we're going to apply the same amount of violence on you as you're trying to apply on other people, there will be, that's what it is. That's how it works. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, Zimbabwe removing that. I don't know, what is gaining or trying to gain popularity from who? From the criminal? I mean, if you're not a criminal, why would you be scared that they unalive you for something you didn't do? I mean, what are the chances that you get arrested and unalive for an accusation that's false? What are the benefits? Crazy stuff. Remember, in South Africa, when Nelson Mandela came out of prison, he removed the law. So the unaliving of people ended. What happened to South Africa later was crime went, crime went up. How? Because people could unalive people and knowing they can go to jail and pay bail and come out. Or you unalive somebody, you go to jail, you pay the police some money and they steal the docket and the thing is gone. Let me just remind you here, South Africa has the most security personnel in the world. There are more security personnel working more than any country in the world. So there are more security personnel than the police and the army combined. That's crazy. That must tell you something. Now the question is, why not they just reinstate the unaliving of people so that will bring back security? Certainly, there are some people that are profiting from it. I mean, there are business owners who have 3, 4, 5, 6 security companies. They're making money. So we must create mayhem. So bottom line is, fellas, Zambia has created something very interesting. School for free for children. Very, very good. Unfortunately, there are too many kids and too little room for comfort. We hope that the government will be able to do something about it. Zimbabwe, brand new presidents don't want people to be unalived for doing something wrong. Is that a good thing or not? Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. God bless.